Okay, here we are. Can I access the save menu? It would be nice if I could. Okay, yeah, here we go. Gold beans. They may have changed some other mechanics about it, but we can access it that way. So let's see, Wuthering Heights. I don't know what that is.
Picking Wuthering Heights, I head off towards the lockers.
And now can I just continue to skip? Skip more? Skip more. This probably won't take too long, but we'll see. We'll see what they got. Hasn't said anything different so far. Didn't even mention that we read the book. Or maybe it mentioned that we read the book and it just didn't mention the title of the book, so it wouldn't be a different line every time. Although actually it might have helped if they did describe it a little, because like if the books are going to determine the routes to a certain extent, then having an idea of what the contents of the book are like can also help to characterize like the other people based on what their interests would be. You know? Like you get an idea of why that book appeals to that person by knowing more about it.
Sayori is looking out the window.
Oh, not Sayori talking.
Sayori is looking out the window, seemingly lost in her thoughts. Her expression is difficult to decipher. Although largely wistful, I spotted being punctuated by what looked like little twinges of hopefulness. Little bursts of nostalgic mirth, as indicated by the intermittently upturning corners of her mouth. Or maybe I'm just projecting how I'm feeling onto her. Hoping that she's feeling the same complex mix of emotions that's been welling up within me the moment I saw her here. The feelings swell as I watch her, scribbling on her paper. Her posture and hand movements are practically unchanged from how they used to be. Back when she wrote all those so bad they were good prestige scripts of the stuff we used to watch on the TV. Hoping they would win her the Pulitzer, or at least get her hired as showrunner. I sigh and turn away.
You know, it just occurred to me that the poem we wrote might be different because we chose a different route. Hold on a second.
Such fun times those were. Will they ever be ours to know again? Who knows, really? How are we all doing? I'm done with mine. Same here.
Okay, I think we're close. I was just gonna... Yeah, we'll reload and double check to make sure after. I'm just gonna continue on for now.
Nothing to it. Not my finest ever, but I think I did adequately given the strict constraints I set for myself.
Alright, so looks like that's about the point we can start skipping again. And this time we got a different poem. Well, let's see. This looks like Monica's handwriting, I think.
Dark, dark, and darker my vision fades. I watch my hair float about me, a great strangling web, light flowing through water like a noose of silk. I run my soft fingers across the hard wood, feeling the grain like concrete against my all too weak palms. My legs kick against the sides of my unprompted coffin. I feel as helpless as a fish in a net. My eyes start glinting softly in the dark water. My nails cut lines into the boreal prison. My lips sealed against the water, ever sealed. But even then, water slips through me, or suffocating me. The pressure pushes the door from opening. I am helpless, prisoner to this wood chest. As my vision swims, I only wish I could do the same, instead of being stuck here, buried deep beneath the waves.
So let's see. Yeah, that was Monica, right?
You figured it out. I permit myself to beam with satisfaction. It isn't every day that I get to emerge from a bout of mental gymnastics on par with a school prodigy. I'm so glad. Here I was worried that I might have ventured a little far off from my usual tack this time around. It wasn't all that obvious to me at the start, I must admit. But then I thought back to the story you showed me yesterday. And on close observation, some of her stylistic elements lined up. The abstract format, the stream of consciousness style. So I latched onto those clues and made my choice. Merely okay in English, Oh, you know, one really shouldn't blow one's own trumpet. Sometimes there's no harm in making it known that you actually have a trumpet. I'm blushing now and can't help but avert my eyes from Monica's dancing emerald ones. I have to ask though, MC. Yes? Was it just the style that gave me away? Or was there anything else? I blink, perplexed. I'm not sure I follow. Sometimes it's more than just the writing style that makes an author's work identifiable as theirs.
Yeah, handwriting's a big factor too.
You mean like a personalized touch, some elements from their own experiences? a dash of their heart and soul. It can be more than just a dash sometimes. But yes, you've got the right idea. An outpouring of deep-seated emotion that infuses the work, linking it inextricably with the author's own being. Like Shakespeare once said, for I know I could take my broken heart and place it on the stage of the globe and make the pit cry tears of their own. I blink again, even more perplexed. I'm happy to know that you haven't left me behind in the dust. But to answer your original question, Monica, no, I can't say that anything apart from the style was a plebeian. And that's the gospel truth. I'd be hard-pressed to equate anything about Monica with the content of the poem itself, which was somewhat morbid, come to think of it. Monica wears an odd expression as she considers my answer. She looks almost relieved to hear it, and yet disappointed as well. That's good to hear. That's good then. Thank you, MC, for being so insightful. You really are shaping up to be a great fit for this club. You're very welcome, Monica. The pleasure is all mine. I think that the whole exercise ended well. Although, as with yesterday, I'm left wondering about more than a few things.
Are we able to skip from there? Yes.
Grabbing my book from my bag, I look around the room. There's a solemn quietness to the air, like a somber violin melody. I wouldn't go as far as to call it sad by any stretch, but relaxing? Not likely. The girls have all sat down, taking out their own books. I'm on the verge of following suit, but I know there's something I need to do first. Something I should have done a long, long time ago. Without so much as a warning, I plonk my seat next to Sayori. It's a little crowded, but that had never bothered us before, had it? As I look toward her, she tenses up. Looking my way, her hair swishes with the movement.
Hey, Melody! How's it going?
Yeah, all right. I figured it would be a good time to catch up, you know. Something about Sayori's demeanor catches me a little off guard. While seemingly amenable to my presence earlier, she seems uncomfortable now that we're this close up. I mean, no kidding. I haven't talked to her in years. Of course, she'd be weirded out by me just plonking my ass right next to her. What was I thinking? Just be cool, me. Just pretend like no time has passed. It'll be fine. I mean, if you don't want to, I can give you some
No, it's fine!
She violently grabs my sleeve as I attempt to get up.
Don't
What?
Never mind.
Her smile is probably the most forced thing I've ever seen, but she really wants me to stay. All right, you win. What are you reading?
Oh, it's a book.
Yeah, I got that.
It's about a kid. Yeah, a kid who...
You haven't read the book, have you?
No!
Unbelievable. And yet that's so like her.
Well, maybe it's a new book.
Well, if you haven't started yours, did you want to read with me?
Yeah, sure.
Her smile is sweet, and it reminds me of the sweet girl No, not opening that can of worms. Not today.
Is something wrong, Melody?
I was about to ask you the same thing, actually.
Well, assuming mobile arrangements should be the same, let's skip over that. Wanna read with me?
Yeah, that was why I walked over. I shuffle closer to Sayori, clutching my own book. Holding it out, I turn the page. As I do, she inches even closer to me. It's almost like we're connected at the hip. We slowly read through the first chapter. It isn't my usual cup of tea, but I read the entire thing last night, so I'm pretty familiar with it. As I continue reading, I hardly noticed the proximity to Sayori. It was as if we were meant to be that nearby. That is, until something changes. I feel a soft pressure on my shoulder and my body tenses. Glancing through my peripheral, I see her head neatly resting on my shoulder. Her face is right next to mine. What do I do? Do I leave her there? Is she still reading? Would that be rude? You can't be serious. I don't want to disturb her, but... Oh, As the reality in front of me starts to sink in, something becomes abundantly clear to me. Her shampoo is wafting to my nose, and I can't describe it outside of sweet. It smells like roses, like someone who took a sample of the most beautiful things in the world and combined them. No. Stop it, you can't do that again.
Huh?
My sudden movement disturbs Sayori, causing me to panic more. The jerk causes the chair to lean backward, and I instinctively reach for the closest thing to support me. Sayori turns beet red. As I look, I notice my hand is holding her hip. Sorry, as I start to pull away, I feel a hand placed on my own.
That's all right.
No, it isn't. I'm going to have a nosebleed in a second, Sayori. In my infinite wisdom, I start to pull away again. And this time, with Sayori attached, I realized too late. I thought if I keep going, we're both going down. Sayori, clasping my hand, pulls me closer, angling herself upright. It's enough to prevent us from falling, but now... we're centimeters from each other's faces. Red alert, all hands retreat. And yet, I can't stop myself. It just feels so right. It's been so long since we were this close. I can't help but feel like this was meant to be. I start to lean closer. Oh, how I've wondered about this. What will it be like? Am I even allowed to find out? I focus my eyes and I realize something. Her eyes are closed. That means I should, right? Or am I misinterpreting this? Sayori. I can't help but gaze at her. I can't see her eyes, but her soft hair begging me to reach out. Her soft hands still clasping mine. And her soft smile, they all beckon me. But I can't. I place a hand on her shoulder. Her eyes flutter open and a sad look crosses her face. Before it turns to a shade of embarrassment. She moves to get up, but I gently grab her hand. I'm sorry, but can you stay here for a while?
Yeah.
Sayori sits back next to me, a small but noticeable distance away. It feels lonely over here somehow.
Okay, everyone.
And then Monica interrupted to say some stuff. Okay. A little more intimate than I would have expected, especially since it seems we had like a falling out with Sayori at some point in the past. But I don't know. I guess there's just something mutual there. Don't quit. Noodles. Don't noodles. I don't know what all these splash screens mean, but they don't seem to go away until I click. So, whatever. Let's go load it up. Load back up. I'm gonna double check that poem to see if it was something different, because it very well might have been. But that'll only take a second. Don't you worry. Just zip on through. We'll see what that poem says. After all, they gave us a different poem whenever we got to like the pick who wrote it section. So I actually kind of appreciate that the poem we got was not for the person whose route we were on. That's kind of a nice touch. I don't know if it's randomized. I feel like it probably shouldn't be, and if it is, but it's kind of nice because then like other characters still get development outside of their route, which can be important too. Natsuki's like kind of trapped behind Sayori here because the skipping hasn't allowed her to move properly. Let's see.
Once I was stable, comfortable in my living, content with all that I had, never needing something new, till the vast water expanse.
Okay, no, it's the same poem. Yeah. Just wanted to make sure. Because, it might have been, like, written to appeal to a certain person instead. Alright, so was this the save and load menu? Okay, now we load. Back to the books. And now we'll pick Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens. Zoom. Who will it be this time? I know you really wanted to see this segment skipped an extra time, so I'm really glad that we double-checked that poem to make sure it was the same. So with this supposedly being the most expansive mod of DDLC, I'm curious just how much they intend to, or how far they intend to take it. Because, like, that's quite a tall order to fill. Like, how do they mean by expansive? Like, are they going for sheer length? Because length for length's sake is not really ideal. A story should be only as long as it needs to be effective.
Natsuki's brow is furrowed as she scrolls furiously. Perhaps a bit too furrowed and a bit too furiously. Almost as though she's trying very hard to seem engrossed in her work. Turning back to my writing, I look over at her again, much more subtly this time. And my eyes meet a beady pair of pink ones that frantically snap away almost the very moment contact is made. There we go, caught her. She's been stealing glances at me all throughout. curiosity, or something else. Who can tell, really? How are we all doing? I'm done with mine.
Alright, let's see. Who do we get this time? Oh no, this is Sayori's again, isn't it? Yep, no, I guess it is randomized then. Well, that makes me wonder if we can't, like, reload that segment over and over to try and get different poems. I'm gonna pick wrong this time.
It's clear from Sayori's dejected expression that I've guessed wrongly. That the poem was in fact hers. Thinking back, I really should have known. I was so caught up in trying to recognize the style that I could not see the forest for the trees. The cheer giveaway was right there in the poem's underlying message of a poignant reunion. I bite my lip and swear under my breath. Dash it all, how many more wrongs am I going to do by her? Evidently I did not swear quietly enough, for Sayori catches my eye and flashes me a smile in spite of it all.
It's okay, Melody. I can't really hold it against you. Nobody can or should. It has been that many years since we last hung out, after all. I left her a little out since we did any writing together. I wouldn't expect you to remember what my poetry's like, especially now that I've built my voice after all those prior baby steps. At least I think I have.
You're too kind, Sayori. I promise I'll use the time spent here to better familiarize myself with how far you've come. As well-meaning as Sayori sounds, her reassurance doesn't really do anything to make me feel better. If anything, it only worsens my guilt. Enough of this cringeworthy fumbling already, MC. It's high time you set things right.
Alright, so let's see. Yeah, I would actually suggest that not be randomized and you just get a different person on each route so that it's a little easier to get them all. And also, like I said earlier, about them getting characterization outside of the routes.
I plonk my butt in a nearby chair opposite to Monica. I don't know why, but her presence seems to be comforting. It's not like I'm not having fun, quite the contrary, but Sarah being here is really distracting. Not in a bad way, but I just can't help but feel bad, you know? It's been a long, long time since I've spoken even a word to her, and now we're in the same club. Then again, Yuri seems nice. She's a bit on the shy side, but you can tell she's passionate about this stuff. As for Natsuki...
What you reading, Melody?
What? Speak of the devil.
Huh? What, were you thinking about me or something?
No, of course not.
God, because that would be weird.
Why's that?
Because I don't know you.
Fair point. Well, would you like to?
Huh? What?
Get to know me. I mean, you did call me by my actual name, so you must want to know me.
No, I didn't. Where did that come from? Did you think you could just come here with your smooth words and get me to read with you?
My smooth words? Well, if you insist. Well, looking at the fact that you're over here without a book and starting a conversation with me...
Well, you're in luck, because I just so happen to need that book for class, so I might as well read it with you.
Uh-huh, so you need the book that we studied like 6 years ago now?
Whatever, just move over, all right?
Wow, she doesn't mess around, does she? Oh, well, it's not like I was able to really concentrate anyway. May as well humor her. She's cute, too. Ah, shoot, that didn't just come out of my mouth, did it? Oh, yes, here we go.
Who are you calling cute?
All right, I have one shot at this. Play it off as deliberate and lay it on thick, and maybe it'll work out. Otherwise, pretend I said nothing. Either way, I'm probably screwed. I take a glance at Natsuki's way. She looks flustered. All right, option one it is, all or nothing. You, of course.
What? I'm not cute.
I don't believe you.
What's that supposed to mean?
She's gone beet red. Looks like that was the right call now to put out the bag. Exactly what I said. Now are we reading or not?
What?
Natsuki blinks a couple of times, trying to engage me.
Of course, yes, let's read.
Natsuki moves her chair closer to mine and leans over to see the book. If I were to move the book slightly to the side, she'd have to practically sit in my lap to read it. Shaking my head, I banish the thought. As I look at Natsuki, I start to notice something. Despite her rough demeanor and what I said before, she's actually pretty cute. She's small and delicate like a cat. And the way she's leaning my way, she's almost leaning into me. I feel my cheeks start to flush, so I bring the book closer to Natsuki. As she shifts to a more comfortable position and then looks at me. Her hair is a soft, gentle pink color, and her fringe is held to one side by a simple but effective hairpin. Her eyes are a whole different ballgame, though. The depth to them is remarkable. She looks like she's living 1,000 lifetimes in those eyes. The eyes, the color of her hair, shimmer as the light of the afternoon sun dances across them.
Are you going to turn the page or what?
Yeah, all right, the book, of course.
What the hell else would you be thinking about?
I don't know, I'm kind of stuck on this. Something has gone anatomically wrong here. You might want to get, like... I don't know who made the CGs, but you might want to have them take a second look at this, because, like, there's some life-alt stuff happening here.
No, nothing.
That's my thought.
I quickly turn my attention back toward the book. It's then that I realize the sun is starting to dim, meaning club time is almost over. And I'm still on the first page.
Okay, everyone.
Wait. That's gonna be it for Natsuki then, I guess. End. Yes, alright, we'll try to make sure we drop a save before it does the randomized, poem selection thingy. Yeah.